Well, we're here with Myra Arzate from El Paso, Texas, and I want to thank you for being a TB advocate. I'm David Bryden with Results, and Results really values the voice of the patients and the TB survivors. Now, in your family, you experienced tuberculosis in Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened? It was affecting your son. How did he get TB?
My son actually got TB from his dad, and we didn't know until a month after he had been already hospitalized. And
Can you tell me a little bit about how his treatment, how did they find out that he had TB? And did he have TB that the people usually have in the lungs?
no, he actually had TB meningitis, which is in his brain, and he first started with just meningitis. That's what he was diagnosed with, and then from there, a couple of days later, they found out it was TB meningitis, and like I said, after that, they found out where he got it from.
All right, and can you tell me a little bit about what the course of treatment was like? It sounded like it was pretty rough.
Treatment was medications 3 times a day at certain times, and we had to crush the medication since it was for adults. So they would cut the sizes. The health department would take it to the house once we were out of the hospital, and they would make sure stay there with us until he took all his medication, which sometimes would come right back up since it tasted really bad. And he also had a catheter where he had some of the medicine through IV, and that was a hassle as well, because imagine a 6-month baby with a little thing hanging from his chest all the time.
And how did you feel as a mother in that kind of situation? Your son was being treated by people wearing masks and gowns, and was that kind of scary for your son?
For my son, it was the worst thing ever. I was frustrated and angry at all the nurses and doctors, knowing that he wasn't contagious, and they would still cover themselves up, and they wouldn't want to touch him, or if they did, it had all these long gloves and bath robes and cover-ups everywhere, so it was really bad for him. He was terrible.
So this treatment went on for 2 years, and tell us about the impact on your son from the medications, and how's he doing now?
He actually stopped all his development, and he went back, so it was like I had a newborn at 6 months, and after he was released from the hospital, we had to go through several months of therapy to get him back at the normal levels a baby is at, and also he lost some of his hearing from both ears. So it was really difficult. To this day, he still has to wear those hearing aids, and he has a shunt on his head, which everybody is always questioning.
And it's been wonderful to have you and your son and your daughter and your mom with us this week, going to Congress and trying to explain why TB matters. How has that experience been? How's Congress responded to you so far, and what do you hope to convince them to do?
I think it's been great, and I really hope that they can see that the medication isn't the same for adults as it is for children. I mean, they need to get something that's not as strong for them, and maybe a little shorter, because it is difficult for kids to be taking this, being forced to take this. Like, they don't have an option, and I think they really need something kid-friendly. There's all these other medications that I don't see why that can't be kid-friendly as well. If this is pretty common, although not many people know about it, so maybe they should get more people aware of the situation.
What about in Texas? Texas has a serious impact from TB. Are your friends, are people that you know aware of TB?
Only the ones I've talked to about, but I do try to get it out. Like this coming over here, I posted it on Facebook. Like, I'm trying to get to have people know what TB is, because honestly, I didn't know myself until my son got sick.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and it's great to have Myra Arzate here from El Paso, Texas, with her family, calling for action on tuberculosis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.